We are joined here today by Frank and Mindy Maialetti of the Philadelphia APA. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. How about you?
Doing good. So I hear that you guys kind of have a unique APA story, right?
You got an APA love story?
Yeah, it's Valentine's Day.
Nice.
Valentine's Day coming up, right? So kind of start out by tell us that story. Tell us how you guys met.
So we met in Vegas in 2019. We were both out there for the World Championship. And I was getting out of a marriage. I was going separated. And Mindy was getting out of a
long-term relationship.
And a mutual friend of ours was talking to them at the bar. And I came by and said hi to him and saw her and started talking. And she had mentioned something about being from New England. And I'm actually a Tom Brady fan. So I had said to her, I said, do you accept Tom Brady as your Lord and Savior? She said, yeah. We started joking around. So I said to my friend, I said, let's go get these ladies a drink. So we go up to the bar, we buy them a drink. And I said, hey, that redhead is cute. Like, I'd like to go talk to her. If you want to talk to the brunette, I'm okay with that. He's like, the brunette is my best friend's wife. I think I'm good there. So I said, what about the redhead? So we spent 4 or 5 days that week together.
Yeah,
we spent about 4 or 5 days that week together.
Yep.
I went back to Philadelphia, and she went back to New England, New Hampshire, to be specific. We stayed in touch, and then COVID happened. And throughout the entire COVID, I work for the Department of Transportation, so we were shut down. But she wasn't. Her state was open. So I basically spent probably 3-4 weeks. 2-3-4 weeks at a time. I'd come home for a little bit. I'd go back up. And we just haven't been apart since.
Nice.
Wow. That's very cool.
Yeah. Great Vegas story. Now, this is at the Westgate? This is at like the International Bar right there at the Westgate?
No,
Or where was it?
Lobby
Where
bar.
was it?
Lobby bar at the Westgate.
Lobby bar at the Westgate.
That's the International Bar,
Yeah.
the lobby bar at the Westgate, where
It's funny,
everybody
we
that's been to Vegas knows that bar.
Right.
So that's great.
Yeah. And every year when we go out, we actually know what area we met each other. So we'll usually sit there and do a little toast to each other. And
Nice.
Very cool. So how did you make that long distance relationship work like that?
Yeah, how far is that? Like, for those that don't know the
It's a
geography.
6.5-hour drive. It's not even that bad.
Yeah, but
That's
that's you got to be committed to make that 6.5-hour drive.
Plane flight.
yeah. And during the COVID time when there was when I was taking a plane back and forth, I was getting a
$28 flights.
$28 plane flight back and forth.
That sure beats that 6.5-hour drive, I bet.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
cheaper
It was
than gas
great.
money.
Yeah, it was. It was cheaper than the toll across New York.
Boston was only an hour for me, so he would tell me when he was lifting off. I would drive down to Boston and pick him up.
Nice. So, like, when you guys left Vegas, I mean, did you expect that this was gonna continue, or were you just like, hey, that was, it was nice meeting somebody from, I liked her, and
I didn't expect to hear from her again, to be honest with you. I thought it was just kind of
the Vegas fling.
a couple days you spend with a nice lady out in Vegas, and it would just be a fun story to tell. Or maybe next year when I'm in Vegas, I'd see her again and be like, hey, you remember me?
Nice.
But I called him.
Oh, so how long did it take before you actually made the move? Before you actually moved to Philly? You moved to Philly, right? With him?
Yeah, I moved to Philly in July of 2020.
Once the world opened back up from COVID,
Yeah.
right? Once you
We're
got
still kind of closed here in Philly.
Yeah, PA was still closed down. Her state was wide open. PA was still very much kind of a shutdown state.
Yeah, man, I remember those times too well.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I actually, during the time we were together, I bought a house, and then she was actually included in the plans of the house. I was showing her different houses that I was looking at, and she would help me essentially approve a house that I wanted to buy.
Had to have a bathtub.
And then you got married, right?
We did.
Yep.
Okay. What year did you guys get married?
2022.
2022. Okay.
September 4th.
September 4th. It was Labor Day weekend.
Was it an APA wedding?
Actually, yes, it was. There was.
Oh, really?
There was 100 people at our wedding, and I'd say probably only about 4 of them were not APA members.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty accurate.
Actually, my league operator, Jeff Duda, who was my best man.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's very
Excellent.
cool.
Yeah, so let's get down to the real questions here. Like, so now that you guys are married and you're a couple, are you playing pool together now? Are you on the same
Yeah.
team? Like, what's the Jack and Jill doubles situation look like there in Philly?
Well, I'm a 6 and he's a 7, so.
Oh,
that's-
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so the Jack and
So
Jill
no
doesn't
Jack
happen.
and Jill for
So,
you
so
guys.
who coaches who on league night? Who when the timeout gets called? Who's coaching?
We actually do coach each other. You know, it's funny. You see a lot of husbands and wives where they can't learn from the husband, they can't learn from the wife. We actually don't have that issue. We are very, very much involved in pool. We actually have a lot of pro friends that we talk to, and we do some streaming and things like that. So we are exposed to a lot of pool. So we understand the nuances of timeouts and really kind of understanding each other when it comes to our games.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, I could see, you know, especially a couple high-skilled players, you know, maybe butting heads a little bit here and there, but it sounds like you guys
Yeah.
are able to.
Sometimes, I mean, we have a little bit of a different style, I would say, right?
Or I'll be like, I don't feel comfortable with
Yeah.
that.
Nice. So how did you guys actually initially get involved playing? I mean, each of you, I'm sure your story's a little bit different there.
Go ahead, you first.
So my dad played for years. My dad was an APA 7. And when I turned 21, he was like, oh, now you got to play on my team. And I was like, oh, Dad, you don't want me. I'm terrible. He's like, no, it's perfect. I'll teach you. I was like, all right. And it's funny because his name is Frank also. So when I met Frank in Vegas and he told me his name, I was like, oh, my goodness, you got to be kidding me.
She also has a brother, Frank Jr., so I'm one of the 3 Franks in her life.
Oh, wow.
I am surrounded with Franks.
Nice.
My uncle, Fritz, actually got me into the APA, and my entire family plays. My father, my sister, my mother, they're all APA players. We were all, at one point, all together on a team, but our ranks are a little jumbled, so we had to kind of split our teams a little bit.
That's what's crazy to me about your story is like you guys are both high-skilled players. You guys both have like a pretty extensive APA kind of history separate from each other, and so for you guys to meet, carry on long distance relationship, and eventually marry because you met at an APA event just seems somewhat poetic to me, right?
Very much so.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I feel like it was very serendipitous the year that we met. So I wasn't there with the team. I had actually won a free trip from my APA in New Hampshire. So like I wasn't even really supposed to be there. I won the free trip.
I wasn't there on the team either. I go out every year as the manager. I just kind of liaison with our teams, go out and support them. So neither one of us were actually playing.
Oh, wow.
We played a mini that year together.
We played a mini.
We played a doubles mini. we didn't do too well. There was some alcohol involved in that match.
Well, that's all right. You won in the long run. You won in the long run.
That's
so
right.
I love this story.
I do
love
too.
This story.
It's so cool. What advice would you guys give to other couples who are looking for, you know, something to do together to get do you encourage them to get out and play pool together maybe?
Oh.
Listen to your husband when he gives you time out.
Oh.
No, you just have to have patience.
Yeah, I mean it's a learning game. It's always you're always going to learn in pool, but if you respect each other and respect the game plus each other's opinions,
Oh yeah.
there can definitely be learning.
You have to be open-minded communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And could you guys have ever imagined? I mean, we have this tagline at APA, and you guys have been around a long time. I'm sure you've seen it. To have fun, meet people,
Yeah.
play pool.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that in terms of the meeting people that
Sometimes you meet the person.
I'll tell you, everything good, and it's going to sound kind of corny, but everything good in my life has come through APA. All my best friends, my wife,
Yeah.
yeah, everything that I owe to the favorite hobby that I have has come through APA.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I love your guys' story. I'm happy that you shared it with us, that we kind of got to know you guys, and wish you guys a very happy Valentine's Day. And
Thank you.
appreciate you taking the time to tell us this story again.
Of
Thank
course.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.